Damian here from Billet Proof Designs. Today we're going to talk about fabricator parts, tabs, and bungs. So here we have our current line of tabs, and as a fabricator you know that tabs are extremely time consuming to make, and time is worth money. They're all laser cut from 1018 mild steel. We have a couple different tabs available here. These tabs with a single hole can be ordered in 5/16 18 or 3/16 thread pitches. We have two tabs with vertical and horizontal slots for adjustment purposes. We have this tab here, which is our CTL tab, or our cut to length tab. Again, it can be ordered in 5/16 18 or 3/16 sizes, and this tang can be cut to length for your desired tab length. We have a tab here specifically for a brake stay, so this can be welded to a portion of your lower frame rail to keep the caliper mount from rotating. We also have a line of coped tabs. They're coped at 1.25 inch diameter. They fit very nicely on 1 inch up to 1.5 inch diameter tubing. And again, this can be ordered in 5/16 18 or 3/16 thread pitches. These tabs can be ordered non-drilled. So they come with a 257 through hole. They can be drilled up to 1/2 inch 13. Just keep in mind if you do drill them larger that you're going to reduce the amount of material around the outside of the tab. So now on to our line of bungs. Now, when you're building a motorcycle, there's no better way to really clean up that fit and finish than to use high quality products. And not only are you using high quality products, but you're saving a lot of time in purchasing something for a really low cost, so you don't have to make it in the shop. You have enough stuff to make when you're building a motorcycle. So let's start out with our top hat bungs. These bungs are offered in 1018 mild steel and 6061 T6 aluminum. These are blind, so they're not threaded through. So they're great for use on electronics boxes, fuel tanks, oil bags, anything where you might have a liquid inside that you don't want that liquid to escape. Next we have bullet bungs. These bullet bungs are offered in two thread pitch sizes, 5/16 18 and 3/16. They're offered in long lengths and short lengths. They're also tapped blind so the thread doesn't go all the way through. These are great to add a lot of detail to a fender mount or a sissy bar mount. And these bungs are long enough to where they can be detailed. You can dimple them, you can chuck them up in a lathe and add some ribs to them. Very easy thing to do to customize your build. On to our coped line of bungs. Our cope line, we have short and long length. The short are 1/2 inch, the long are 1 inch. These are tapped through. If you do purchase a long length, they can be cut down to the desired length required. And these are tapped 5/16 18 and 3/16 thread pitches. They're coped at 1.25 inch diameter, so they're easily welded to 1 inch to 1.5 inch diameter frame tubes. On to our straight bungs. These bungs are tapped through 5/16 18 and 3/16 thread pitches. They can be ordered in 1 inch lengths or 1/2 inch lengths. Our counterboard bungs, 5/16 18 and 3/16 socket head cap screws. These are great to add a really clean look to parts being mounted onto your motorcycle. When the fastener's installed, you have a nice, clean, flush look. 1018 mild steel, easily weldable. And lastly, our handlebar bungs. We have a coped bung for 1 inch handlebars, and they're tapped through 1/2 inch 18, easily customizable. And this is our internal riser bung. So this would be used if you're fabricating tubular handlebars and you have a very long riser. This is pressed into the bottom of the handlebar. It is 3/4 inch in diameter. If your idea of your handlebar happens to be larger than 3/4 inch, that's fine. There's a tapered chamfer here that will aid in centering, and it also adds great penetration for butt joint welds. Tapped 1/2 inch 13 through, great product. So here we have a series of different size bungs for fuel tanks and oil tanks. Let's start out with the oil tanks. This is a sight gauge to see the oil tank or the oil level in your tank. This one here is a barrel gauge constructed of 260 brass. And here's our bung for this particular gauge. Now this is a Frenched bung. It's tapped 1/8 inch NPT, and we Frenched it in order to pull the gauge really tight to the mounting surface. So unlike this particular bung, which is just a straight top hat 1/8 inch NPT bung, this gauge will stick out much farther from the side of your tank than this gauge. And I'll hold these up here so you can kind of get an idea. So the mounting surface on this gauge is right here on this bung, and on this bung it's right here. So if you hold these flush with one another, you can see the difference that these gauges would stick out from the side of your oil bag. Mind you, these cannot be used for fuel tanks. This particular gauge is vented at the top, so if the fluid level goes above this vent, it's going to leak. Again, cannot be used for fuel tanks, only for oil bags and oil tanks where the fluid level is static. Here are 3 bungs. There are CTL line of bungs, or our cut to length bungs for fuel tanks, offered in 1/4 inch NPT, 3/8 NPT, and 22 millimeter. This is a great part for a Frisco style petcock. 1 inch tube, 22 millimeter bung on the other end. This can be cut to length. Drill a 1 inch diameter hole in the back of your tank, weld it up, and you got a nice Frisco style petcock on your motorcycle tank now. Here we have our stepped bungs for fuel tanks. These are typically mounted to the bottom side of the fuel tank. They are 1/4 inch 3/8 NPT, offered in both 1018 and 6061 mild steel. Drill a hole, the step keeps it from dropping in the tank, weld it up, pressure test, you're good to go. And Dan had talked about our fuel sights that are mounted to the side of tanks. They all use 1/8 inch NPT, offered in aluminum and 1018 steel. These are also offered stepped or Frenched. Again, the Frenched brings this 90-degree fitting in a little bit closer to the side of the tank, adds a really great touch to your build. And lastly, our 12 gauge sights. Dan had gone over this, but I feel like I should touch on it. These are our Frenched series of bungs and our stepped bung. Now, the stepped bung, you can see how much higher the fitting sits than this. This French bung is great, but keep in mind that it's really difficult to weld to a tank with a very tight radius. They're typically mounted on top, so they're great for a peanut tank where the top of the tank is a little flatter. Drill the desired hole, weld in, grind flush, and you got a beautiful looking fuel tank. And you can see how much fuel you have left. So there you have it. Our line of fabricator parts that includes tabs and bungs. There's no better way to increase the fit and finish of your build than with high quality products from Billet Proof Designs. For more information on these products and others, please visit our website at billetproofdesigns.com, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.